All right, do it for Robles. Get on top with the cross wrist and roll it. Sweet. Money. Elbow and knee pinched together. Hold it really tight. Very good. Some of my athletes on this wall that have done really well, we mentioned earlier, AJ Shop, he's great at this situation here. Brad Pataki, Dynamo with cross wrist roll. Nate Galloway, who's on a different wall we didn't talk about yet. I mean, some of these guys are just killers with the cross wrist. You guys did pull-ups earlier. You guys are looking way too comfortable. Might have you do some pull-ups. All right, but doing pull-ups like crazy is important. Is Anthony's technique great? Yes, but Anthony Robles can do over 50 pull-ups. You want to have a death grip. You want to have, if you let hold of that guy's wrist, you don't let go. All right, Hayden, get the cross wrist again. How do you like to get it? Do you like to chop? You like chopping? All right, go ahead and chop him down flat. And then what's his coach yelling? Build your base, build your base. Jake, push up, roll it. Good. Good job. Other man down. Let's talk about the details. Get the wrist and stop. It's really important that you pull it taut. It's very important that you shove the elbow through. It's very important that you dive your head through hard and then hip heist. And then on the finish, this break foot's very important. This foot stops the momentum, knee up, elevator up, and that is money right there. It's the same tilt position that we use with the 2-on-1 tilt, the same finish position. You're perpendicular, you're tight, your knees pointed up, you're elevating, you're tight. A really good key on this, and what he's doing very well, is knee to elbow. And he's trained with Brad Pataki. They're both from Clearfield County. They live about an hour from here. Brad's really good at this, and Brad knows to pinch this very tight. That's one of the key things they do extremely well. Back down. All right, so I mentioned earlier, come on back a little bit, Hayden. I got to give kudos to Wade Shallis. I learned a lot of wrestling at camps from Wade in junior high and high school, and very unique. And some of my unorthodox techniques have come from him. My cradles have come from him. Cradles are great. We've covered some near side cradles in some earlier tapes as counters to single. Maybe you Urbis brothers can show me some crossface cradle later. They like the crossface cradle. The cradle's incredible move, and that's what Shallis was good at, but this is what he created. He ran around the country in the 80s calling it a Clemson roll because he used to coach at Clemson. And I just call it a cross wrist roll. And it's the move that Robles does so well. So get down there again. And what Robles does sometimes is a little different. Robles will stick his arm all the way between the legs, do the Navy roll. Not that one, Jay. Come back over. That's a good one, too. That's actually the way I learned it from Wade. But what Anthony does is he takes the left arm all the way through a Navy roll. Yeah, grab the knee. And that's what Robles does. He holds this really tight. You could double up or just grab the knee really tight and hold him. It's hard to actually get the wrist because then it gives the guy space to kick. So you just hold this leg really tight. That's a good one. I think it's riskier, though. I mean, Anthony's so great at it, he forces them. Jump up again. And then the other, there's three ways to do the cross wrist roll. The third way, which is probably the easiest, is just simply to stick this free hand behind the legs, palm up with your hand on the mat. You can see his palm on the mat. He's going to take his face to his hand and roll. It's kind of like a slide by. The knock by and the pull by and the throw by, they're similar. There's 3 different cross wrist rolls. You don't have to be good at all 3. You need to pick the one that you like best. A lot of my younger guys have trouble doing the elbow in front one, which is the best one for most athletes. Get in here. Cross wrist, elbow push, elbow in front, because they got to take the elbow inside of the thigh right there and keep it tight, and then pinch your elbow and knee together. And that's the key to the move, because if these two are not together, this comes through, and he rolls through, and he belly down, and he keep coming on top, and you don't get your points. The guy rolls through it. So you got to stick with that position. So look, I'm mean on top. I like running people, barring them, halving them, cranking them over, but sometimes it's tough to do. What we're finding now in our sport is a lot of times the best way to score against somebody of similar or better skill level is these tilts. So we've done the 2-on-1 tilt series. We're running through this cross wrist roll series. I've mentioned chain wrestling a number of times. When we do the drill tape tonight, I'm going to show you a lot of different drills, and I'm going to emphasize chain wrestling. Right here, here's a really good chain. Hayden, why don't you jump on top? You get a crack at it. If you have a choice on your combination between rebar, Turk, and ball and chain, what would you prefer? He's going to go to rebar. We talked about Dustin Schlater earlier. He's on our wall. He's an NCAA champ as a freshman, multi-time All-American. Hayden, cross wrist roll. Put him on his back and hold him. Put him on his back and hold him. Stay right there a second. Gage, run out here real quick, please. Hurry up, just stay right there. So on the transition, you've got to go from a cross wrist into a rebar. Look what I do here. There's no space here for my arm. So I shove the arm through, thread my arm through. It's a reinforced bar, okay, a rebar. And what Hayden's going to do now is push it through, There's the rebar. He's gonna jump over to the opposite side of the bar and tilt it and nail it right there. All right, Jake, you're on top. Rebar tilt, great move. David Taylor, NCAA finals last season. He's come to our camp as a kid. He's a beast with this position. He's got really long arms. He'll go from a tight waist tilt to a rebar, from a cross wrist to a rebar, from a chicken wing to I mean, he's just all over people with the rebar series. So get the rebar locked up, all right? And instead of running the chicken wing, which a lot of people do, especially in basic high school wrestling, but the studs stay up, they don't go. The easiest way to turn a guy from here is to go to the opposite side, drop your knee in front, drive forward, load him up, and tilt him right there. And I'll show you another way to do that. Keep the rebar and belly down. If the guy's really fighting you hard, Jake, and take your, keep coming this way, drive off your left foot, and when you take him over, you're gonna figure four his legs. So push him over, figure four above the knee, pop your hips under him, good stuff. Look, when I was a little kid, you could figure four the body. They made it illegal. This year, they're making, and then when I was in junior high, they made figure four and a head illegal. Now they're making figure four and a head illegal on top, too. It used to be, for you guys that haven't followed wrestling a long time, it used to be Hayden, if you split the middle on Jake, and he figure fours your head, that used to be legal until about 15 years ago. So that was made illegal. Now, bread and butter, Jake, get a chicken wing rebar. Been around wrestling forever. And I guess somebody's neck got hurt or something. Run the rebar, step over the head, right there, don't forward. Don't, you go right there, no, don't forward, don't. If you don't, you can step over. You can step over. Circle around for the camera now, circle around. I want you to step your left leg over only. Like hook his head like a half Nelson with, yeah, but don't forward. You can go there, but you're not allowed to do what it's been allowed forever, figure four the head. That's now illegal, as we know. So, figure four must be a really powerful hold. So here's a place where you can use the figure four. Get the rebar on Hayden. Kind of built like David Taylor, Jake, got them long limbs, drive him forward. Now, Hayden, go flat. Go flat, go flat, go flat. Let him go flat. Put your left foot between his legs, high. Put your left foot, not your knee, and drive and figure four. So that's a forced tilt. And I'm gonna show you this from ball and chain too, but that's a really good position to do from pop your hips under him. Figure four works. So that's the rebar. That's a great combination off of the cross wrist roll. Again, Dustin Schlater was great at it. Currently, David Taylor is really good at it. For example, Jake, go to a tight waist tilt like I started this video with. Do a chop breakdown and get a tight waist. Flatten him out, squeeze him, go ahead and tilt him. Tight waist tilt. Get your points. As he bellies down, catch the wrist, push it across, rebar. Jump to this side, tilt the rebar. That combination is a really good combination in wrestling. That is two separate sets of back points. A lot of referees now, they're being told, wait to make sure he gets off his back. Wait till it's a new move. That's two clearly different moves. Look at the combination again. And if you look at David Taylor, tech falling people like crazy, this is one of the combinations he's using. Tight waist tilt, boom, boom, hold him, hold, belly down. Three back points, arm bar, catch the wrist, rebar it. The key is let the ref get a chance to give you three before you run your next move, before you lock up your next combination. You gotta be patient a little bit to make sure you get your three and pay attention to what's going on. I love the tight waist tilt, and I don't even have really long arms. I used it in the state high school finals. I used it in the Midland finals. I was wrestling Terry Brands. I couldn't tilt him, but with a regular wrist tilt, I couldn't power half him, but I was able to get my arm around his waist for a good tight waist tilt. It's a very, very good move.